rider is a little higher. Low rider drives a little slower. Low rider is a real good one. Hey! Low rider knows every street jam. Low rider is a one to meet, yeah. Low rider don't use no gas now. Low rider don't drive too fast. Take a little trip, take a little trip, take a little trip and see. Take a little trip, take a little trip, take a little trip with me. Low rider, low rider. Why don't you tickle those keys for us, Caitlin?
Charters, you're up, man. You gotta introduce the host of the show.
And now, welcome to the bowels of Spiky Ball Studios here in the basement of our beautiful church. I'd like to introduce the host of this show. It's your two-time President's Club Award winner, Mr. Pete Van Dyke, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you, Dave. Welcome everyone live from the Dutch Hall. I'm your host, Pete Van Dyke, and I am the host of the greatest late night, right there podcast ever to come out of Canada, bar none. And I believe we are that way because we have the greatest band in Canadian late night history, the Nocturnal Emissions. Everybody at home, drop your dishes and clap. I'll tell you, tonight's lineup is stacked. We got on bongos back there. That guy's Brandon McIntosh. Let's hear it from at home, folks. On lead guitar, that's Steve the Reluctant German, everybody. Who's that on vocals and cowbell, you might ask? That's the master of industry, the man that writes the music for the show, the Rooster, Dave Charters. And tickle the skins back there and making it sound so sweet. That's the French tickler, our Cat Boulanger, everybody. Let's hear it for him. And right back where he belongs, hanging low between our legs, that's the balls of the Nocturnal Emissions. That's my absolute favorite. Whiskey Wes Hagens, everyone. And on keyboards tonight, a special treat. The apple of my eye, the fruit of my loins, my daughter, Caitlin Van Dyke, everyone. And there's only one way to get this show started. We got a lot of cool stuff to talk about. All we gotta wait for is these guys to stop. Excellent opener, everybody. Yeah. I think you're all to be commended, except for Mike Bowe, of course.
Yeah.
He deserves only to be shunned for not being a part of that. Jordan, our cameraman, was on percussion and I didn't introduce him. He was tapping on his thigh during that performance. I don't know if you picked that up.
I could feel it.
Did you feel that? He contributed as well. I feel he was part of the Nocturnal Emissions as well. So I apologize for not introducing him during the opener.
Apology accepted.
I'm going to do something. Right now, we have to let my daughter Caitlin off the hook, right? Because I don't want her to be any more uncomfortable. Also, I don't want her to hear some of the stuff that will come out of her father's mouth that will probably result in a very costly therapy.
A lot of it's filthy. Yeah. Usually I regret hearing it after.
But Caitlin, we all thank you very much. Come back anytime you like.
Awesome job.
Thank you.
We need more keys. That's what I think.
What do you mean?
It's like it's the one piece of the puzzle that the Nocturnal Emissions has been missing.
You know what we need?
Well, Brandon McIntosh, I'm going to ask you a question. Would you care to sit behind the keyboard and maybe get a mic? Because maybe we just have a guy like Brandon sit down there.
I can't play keyboard.
Brandon,
sorry.
Bullshit, you can't. I heard you and Steve the Reluctant German, you're starting the newest jam band that it's going to take the world by storm. Do you have a name for it yet?
I don't know. Marmalade?
Marmalade's not bad. I like marmalade.
Sure. Jam.
How about...
Ignore my dad joke.
You got me with that one.
You got any band names that are hiding in the old chambers there, Charters?
Oh, nothing I'm ready to say over there.
Oh, you don't want to give it away, you know? Oh. Well, I got one I'm willing to give away. Wes, you got one in the chamber? I see you kind of chomping at the bit, no?
No, I'm thinking of what Murr would name bands.
What's that?
Well, guy, I don't know. It's
has he come up with some?
Donkey Dick Pussy Fart would be a good band name for him.
I love them.
Donkey Dick Pussy Fart, they had a good first album, but their second album was a bit weaker, you know?
DDPF, it says on the drum skin on the front of the bass drum. DDPF.
It's DDPF.
I can see it.
Yeah. I'm on Murr's side on this one. I got to tell you, to be quite honest with you. I always thought it cool. When I was a kid, I heard somebody suggest a band name called Vertical Smile. And I just always thought that would be cool because you just show like a vagina, but you put teeth in it. And then you'd say, no, it's a vertical smile, but you'd have like a clit and like pubic hair and everything all around it, you know? No, it's just a guy with a goatee and a vertical smile, you know? But you could put it right in your album cover, like a human woman's vagina. That's what I thought as a child, is what I'm saying. Like, I've outgrown those thoughts, except for not. It's awesome, right? Still?
You only think about it all the time.
Yeah. Vertical smile. Your album covers a vagina with teeth. Fuck, man, that's a great band.
It's gold.
We're going platinum, baby. That was number 2 to Nocturnal Emissions, because you know that you didn't come up with the name, The Nocturnal Emissions, and we couldn't call you Nocturnal Emissions because Nocturnal Emissions is taken by some guy in the 80s who came up with this like weird, like just techno bleep, bleep, bloop, bloop shit, and called himself Nocturnal Emissions. That band, guys from Britain or whatever.
Yeah, he sucks.
Yeah. You guys are the Nocturnal Emissions, you know? And I think if I asked each and every one of you when I named the band, if I would say, hey, do you think that's a good idea to name you guys the Nocturnal Emissions? Most of you would disagree, right? Maybe not Wes. Wes, would you agree to, if I said to you, hey, you want to start a band? And then you're like, oh, I love to play bass. I'd like to be in this band. But then you're like, I'm going to call it the Nocturnal Emissions, right?
I'd be okay with that.
You'd be okay?
Yeah.
Charters, you?
At the time, I thought it was interesting name,
Right?
comical even,
Right.
but I've really grown into it.
Right. Now, do you think if we made it to the big time, let's say we're on like a network American television show with huge corporate sponsorship, right? And the house band of the new late night talk show hosted by Pete Van Dyke is with the house band, The Nocturnal Emissions. Do you think that would be allowed? Or do you think we'd have to change it to Nocturnal E or something like that?
I would never want to change it.
Really?
Yeah.
You would, if I said, Dave, I think it's about time we change the Nocturnal Emissions to Nocturnal E, and we just stopped saying it's about coming in your bed at night when you sleep. And then, and you would say, no, Pete, I want to play martini bars, and I want to play golf courses, and I want high-end gigs, and what those people like are bands that are named after coming in your bed sheets at night.
Yeah.
Right. I agree with you.
Yeah.
I agree with you. You put such a remarkable case forward, Charters.
Thanks.
That I cannot dispute it.
I like seeing it on the website when you go to like the Martini Bar's website and click on Saturday Entertainment and you see the Nocturnal Emissions written there.
Yeah. Saturday entertainment at the Highfalutin Martini Bar on the lake
Yeah.
is going to be just jizzing in your own bed sheets against your will.
You have no control over it.
No control. You wake up in a shock and you actually feel really bad about it.
What have I done?
Especially if you're raised Catholic. It's not a good morning to wake up with fucking sticky sheets, you know? When I was a kid, there was this fella I went to grade school with, and he used to always take me to the back of the playground at the grade school, and he would tell me secrets, you know? He'd say, Pete, I don't want anyone else to hear this. Let's go to the back corner, you know? So we go to the back corner of the playground, right where the fence, it was the furthest away from the school, and he'd tell me secrets, you know? And the one time he told me, because he had older brothers. He had older brothers, and he was just like a young, naive kid, but he was like an accident. His parents had him way after they should have stopped, you know? So his brothers were way too old, so he was exposed to things that are beyond his time. Where I was one of the older kids, so this was like a fountain of knowledge for me, you know? So I really appreciate it. That's why he would always tell me the secrets. So he brought me to the back of the playground, and he told me one time, there's something that comes out of your dick, it's not pee, and it's sticky like orange juice, is what he told me.
Like
Orange juice, right? And so I remember thinking, like, that sounds far-fetched, you know? That orange juice type viscous stuff is going to shoot out of my
You're
penis.
thinking your brothers are fucking with you, right?
Yeah, I'm like, his brother's just messing with him, you know?
Yeah.
But sure as shit, I woke up one morning after having a really weird dream about me falling on top of an alien on a train or whatever. And my sheets were sticky like orange juice, you know. And I remember putting it almost very close to my face and examining it, you know, like, what is this? Like, this is not something I'm familiar with, you know. And then I'm like, this must be what that fucking Portuguese kid was talking about. What was this? Like, this must be that orange juice stuff, you know. Anyways, what?
Was one of his secrets also that before he lived in the house he lives in now, he lived in a blue house?
Yeah, he probably exactly. Yeah, he brought me to the back to tell me that secret.
Yeah.
And he was really, don't tell anyone. Don't tell anyone before I lived in the house I live in now. I lived in a blue house. I'm like, you
That's
piece of
embarrassing.
shit. Yeah, I would never hang out with a friend who lived in a blue house.
He told me a secret once. He said,
You know what I'm talking about?
100%.
Did I let the cat out of the bag?
yeah. He told me a secret once on the phone. He said, don't tell anyone, but I'm thinking about taking drumming lessons.
That is a real heart. Like if you go blab that around town on the internet, like we're doing right now.
What are people going to think?
Oh my God! You better fucking follow through with it and become a great drummer.
Yeah.
That's what I say.
That was last year.
A 45-year-old man like saying, "I'm
wasn't
gonna take up the drums," and like, "Oh, you have 2 babies at home. Like perfect time just to bang loud at things in your house is when you have 2 kids under 3." Good move, buddy. Does he listen to our show? Probably
I don't know.
not. It's
pretty
funny
sure
that
I
we've
called you
told
right
so
away, though,
many
to tell you.
stories about this guy over the years on our show, but we have no idea if he listens to all these things, and we just like blatantly tell stories about him. I think there's people that have figured out who we're talking about by now.
Well, some people can. for
Yeah,
sure.
definitely.
Some people have heard the same secrets.
Yeah. He's gross, man.
Yeah.
Anyways, we were talking today because I'm in dire need of a haircut. You know, Steve, sorry about this. I'm going to talk about it right in front of you. Sorry, Wes.
All good.
But and what do you guys think? You're 2 guys with like hair loss issues, right? You're full of so much manliness that you have so much testosterone that it's popped your hairs out of the top of your head, right?
Yeah.
Right, both you guys.
Yep.
And then you see a guy like Charters, right? All full of estrogen, right? Hair thick as a man could have it, you know. He's probably going to have hair till he's like 100 years old if he can live that long. As thick as it is now. And then what he does with it is he fucking butchers it and makes it look ridiculous, right? And then you're sitting there, don't even have the ability to grow hair, watching this motherfucker sit right beside you. With a perfectly ability to grow a nice coiffed hair, and he like does whatever's under that hat. And I'll tell you, I haven't seen that, people. I have not seen what's under Char's hat yet, but I bet you it's fucking ridiculous. Because I've known you for enough years, Charters. You've gone through more looks than anybody I've ever seen in my whole life. And we were talking about this today in the church because I was saying Charters has reinvented himself more times than anybody I've ever met in my whole life. You've gone through every look. And then Brandon, we were having breakfast in Delhi this morning. Brandon said,
Oh, where at?
at Styles Cafe. And I don't mind giving them a shout out because they were high class this morning. We got treated like kings there, didn't you think?
They had to deal with us talking for an hour, so yeah, they were
About
great.
Jesus a lot.
Yeah.
Good people at Styles.
Yeah.
And good breakfast.
I like Styles Cafe for breakfast in Delhi. You know, Delhi's got a real culinary scene starting here.
For sure it does.
Yeah, since I've been in Delhi and this church, Delhi's got, like, I'll tell you, the Dairy Freeze across the way. I'm going to give all these guys free shout-outs today. Dairy Freeze across the way is not just your Dairy Freeze where you get a freaking soft serve ice cream cone and a hamburger, maybe a hot dog or whatever. This is fucking good food.
Oh,
The
yeah.
person that's cooking in there, Kate, she gives a shit about what she cooks. The menu is actually delicious. They have like fully loaded sweet potato fries. They got like what's the one we always get? The chicken fajita wrap.
I had it for lunch with Brandon.
Yeah,
Today?
I find myself there every week. It's
Yes.
great.
Yeah, that place is phenomenal. It's really good food. If I was doing an Anthony Bourdain or a fucking Guy Fieri or whatever that show, and we come to Delhi, I'll tell. This is what I'm doing with you. I'm taking you to Delhi Submarine, right?
Hey, buddy.
Hey, buddy. We're going to go there because that's an institution in Delhi. And I don't give a shit about the food at all. I would just buy it to help them out because it's such a great place to go. I love that place, right?
Always soccer on the TV.
And one time I asked him for a submarine, and I said, "Can you have it on brown bread?" And he goes, "What?" And I go, "Brown bread." And he goes, "No." And I go, "Why not? You don't have brown bread?" He goes, "No one's ever asked for it." They say, "Give me a sub," and it's Mike's Submarine's sub. And
Yeah.
you just take it. It's white bread,
and eat it.
old school. It tastes like, it's like usually cold cut. Jane, if I get anything from Delhi Sub for my wife, and it's not just a cold cut on white bread with like mayonnaise and mustard and like just
Sub sauce.
sub sauce. That's it. Oh, there's one of those things I should have put on there. What was it? Mayonnaise, mustard, or sub sauce? Which one don't? Mayo sub sauce. Who doesn't have mustard, eh, Dave?
I skipped the mayo, mustard and sub sauce, salt and pepper.
Really?
Yeah.
You know what I remember from charters from grade school is that on.
Oh, this is good.
We'll tell this before we get to a segment we call feedback. We got
We got to get back to Brandon too,
what?
and your conversation at Styles, but do this first, the hot dog.
Okay. So thank you, Dave, for directing the show. But we're at when I was a kid, like a hot dog day was, like it was like $1.50 or maybe $3 for a hot dog. But my parents were like thrifty at the time because we had blue mold and like we had stuff that like made it tough and stuff. So my dad is also Dutch. He did the math. And he's like, you can get a hot dog for like 15 fucking cents, right? If you get the bun and you get the one wiener and you don't have to pay $3 or $5, whatever these shysters are asking for, the school system. So my parents figured out the solution that on hot dog day, they'd send me with a thermos with where normally my milk or my juice would go.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, but this time they're going to fill it with boiling hot water and put 2 wieners in it for me. And then they gave me like all the they gave me like a bun, but like when you try to put the wiener in, it would break the bun into 2 pieces, and then all the condiments just run into your hand, Where everybody that was getting it from the school had like big friggin' steamed buns, like
Just
soft steamed buns. And I'm going up there. I get to use the condiments with you guys, right? But I didn't pay for hot dog day. I brought hot dogs in, but like my drink is gone now. All I got is fucking wiener water to drink.
That's the truth. Every other day of the year, he would have milk in his thermos, and then on hot dog day, he'd have to drink the wiener water.
That's an old story. You used
Love that story.
That is an old story, but it was.
You got free condiments though.
And their hot dogs were like fucking plump and like they boiled them right at school. Mine was like if you were put a wiener in a hot tub for like 3 days, and it was just all like wrinkled up and gross. It wasn't the same thing. I don't blame my parents. They were right. Those hot dogs were overpriced, but technically it was going to a good cause. Your kids' education in the school and such. Maybe they should have stopped being so cheap. I don't know. I might have to put up with Willie's feedback after that comment. Which reminds me, we got feedback.
Motherfucking feedback.
Oh, well, welcome to feedback. We got feedback, everybody. This was something we should have done at the very beginning, but we do not want to wait any longer. We were going to get the lovely Jane while you guys are playing the Cookie Ladies theme song. And you know what? You can do the Bumba Ras, the I Want to Pimp Your Cookies, whatever suits your fancy. Go for it. While Jane goes around and delivers these treats that we got from the Cookie Lady, Susan B. They're fantastic. Cupcakes. Hey, Jane, can you go over to Jordan and let him get a shot of those before you give them all away? Are you going to sing, Dave, or you want me to? Charters. Vocals.
Oh, the vocals. How's it go? Yeah. Chocolate cookie. We love the cookies. We love you, Susie.
Thank you.
Susie. Cookies are a favorite thing in the world.
Love the cookie.
What have we got? It looks so good, Susie. Susie. A mandarin orange and a piece of pineapple, Susie. I can't get it.
Cookies.
I need 2 hands to get this delicious thing.
Sweet things.
It's not a cookie, it's a cupcake.
A cookie.
So moist and delicious. I'm tasting it with my eyes, Susie.
Oh, those
Susie.
cherries.
The fruit makes me not have scurvy, Susie. It's good for my teeth and gums.
Thank you, Dave. You did justice there. Where'd you go at the beginning of that one?
Wow. I was in La La Land looking at those.
Dramatic.
You're just looking at the tray and fantasizing about eating those cookies?
Oh my God.
I was like, at some point in
It's my favorite
time,
part.
someone should come in with the vocals of this jingle. Maybe the guy that wrote the music, who writes the music for the show. What, do you think Mike was here?
Wow. I don't know what was happening in my
Do you know what Mike's doing right now, Dave?
He's looking at cows' teats.
Is it? He's looking at cows' teats at some sort of dairy show,
I'm
right?
pretty sure it's a dairy show, so I would think at a dairy show, what makes a good cow is a nice set of teats. Is that what you call them?
Yeah, teats. I've been to these dairy shows in the past because I worked in agriculture, and I'll tell you, these people look forward to these dairy shows every year. These dairy farmer kids, because what they do is they go get all their cows all fancy for the show, and then they end up bringing like a whole bunch of booze and just drinking it. And at night they sleep like beside their manure piles. I boozed out of their head, right? And it's the what they look forward to every year, but sleep beside their cow shit. Eh?
Sounds nice.
It's called the Royal Winter Fair.
Is that what's going on right now?
No.
Oh.
Something else, but I think. But I don't know. Maybe it is.
It sounds like a good time.
You know what I
bet
think, Dave? I bet you, I'm just saying, I'm speculating here, but I bet you that the Royal Winter Fair is not now. You want to know why?
I have an idea. Sometimes I say things and I wish I didn't. Does that ever happen to you guys? Yeah. You wish that would have just stayed inside your brain?
Yeah. I don't think that's the one that's today. On account of it being stinking hot, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's not winter.
Nope.
You know what my favorite part going to Royal Winter Fair was? They had a whole section just with with butter. And they would carve butter into like different sculptures. And then like different people's heads and like different sort of statues, all
like
made
art.
out of butter.
Butter.
Yeah. It was in a refrigerated display where they carved the butter and stuff.
It's probably a nice medium to work with.
Yeah, I think so, Dave. I would love to make a butter statue of you because it would be so similar to the real you, right?
Yeah.
Because you're made of 90% butter. Is that true?
Most humans are made of a lot of water.
But you are made of butter.
Mostly butter.
I love that. And that's what I like about you.
Oh.
You were the most comprised of butter friend I've ever had. Anyways, Susan B., you've outdone yourself. And you want to know why I believe she's outdone herself this week with these cupcakes, which are honestly, she's going next level now.
Which kind did you take? Mine had a mandarin orange and a piece of pineapple on it.
I went with strawberry and pineapple. That's the one I went with. Steve, what did you go with?
I went with the chocolate chip whipped cream top.
I don't know if that's a cherry or a strawberry jam one, but I think I'm going to go seconds. I got my eye on that one for seconds. Wes, what did you pick?
It had like a chocolate cookie on it.
A cookie on the top of it? It's also different, eh? She met all of our like our happy pleasures, and she satisfied us all at once. You know, that's magic. That's a magic sponsor that we have. Kevin, this is your own mother. And she made a display like this, and you're watching her do it, right? You can see her create.
Pictures.
You got pictures of her creating this?
Yes, for
Oh, I'd love to have those. And then you get a chance when Jane comes around with that tray, right? You've been just licking your lips all day long.
All day.
Which one did you choose?
I'm a big fan of strawberry and strawberry alone, so I went with the strawberry with cream.
Straight strawberry for Kevin.
It is lovely.
I'm not going to eat it because of Big Dutch, but I'm going to steal it so I can have this one. Yeah, this is the one I had. I like the fruit ones. Anyways, feedback is brought to you by Amazon. If you'd like to do your Amazon shopping, you can do it and like give nobody any money, and then except for the people at Amazon, which have a lot, they're pretty rich. Does this not make sense to you people that listen to this program? If you shop at Amazon, why do you just do it without giving us money? It doesn't make any sense, right?
No.
You're just going to give it to Steve Bezos,
That's something a numbskull would do.
right? He has a lot of money. We don't. We'll spend it on candy and like sad dancing like dwarf clowns and stuff. Those are things we'll spend the money that
They're
you
real things.
Yeah, things that you would enjoy in life, right? How is Steve Bezos going to make your life better if you buy stuff from him and make him richer than he already is? Nothing. But if you go to Live from the Dutch Hall's website and you click on our Amazon banner, and if you don't see it, it's because you got your ad blockers on because you don't know that yet.
Yeah.
I'm not going to judge you for it.
I am.
So click them off. Do your Amazon, click on the banners, go do your shopping. Now all of a sudden, a little bit of that money, maybe 6 to 8%, comes back to Live from the Dutch Hall. We spend that on what, Dave?
Candy and candy cigarettes and candy corn.
And little people,
Little people.
sad clowns
Sad clowns.
Sad dancing.
who ride tricycles and figure eights.
Or unicycles.
And then when if they run into in the middle of a figure eight, then there'll be a smash of like little people on tricycles dressed as sad clowns.
Like a figure eight race.
Yeah, it's a figure eight race, so sometimes they'll smash in the middle of the eight, you know? I think that would be a real fun show, and I think we should do it before we're canceled.
Absolutely.
Yeah, which is December. And also, NORPAC,
The beef people.
and that's all they got. And you know what? My cousin Derek, I don't even know why I missed this, but he had a birthday. Oh, God damn it.
Oh, icing side down.
You gotta let that go.
Lick your fingers.
Anyways.
Right into the microphone.
Oh, I want to eat it so bad now. Now I want to eat it so bad.
Do you know
I
Happy
really want-
Birthday? Let's play Happy Birthday for Derek.
Happy birthday for Derek while I eat my cupcake? Oh, yeah. Derek Yarmy, Yarmy Electric. You know what? He's got a birthday. Let's just sing happy birthday to Derek Yarmy, eh? You do it?
Happy birthday.
To you, happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Derek Yarmy. He's fucking busy.
Don't call him.
Happy birthday. Go fuck yourself. Not Derek, but you.
Yeah. People listening to the song that might think about using my cousin's services, go fuck yourself and leave him alone. He has a birthday and needs to rest. Yeah.
Day of rest. Is that too much to ask?
Yeah, no big deal. Brought to you by CleanFlow. And CleanFlow is the greatest sponsor ever. If you don't know who they are, it's with a K, CleanFlow. You go to their website, look up their products. They're all great.
I'm behind.
Yeah. Charter's the guy that wrote that bullshit. Didn't even play it. Eh?
I don't need to.
Well, you wrote it for Steve. Oh, I get it. Anyways, you know what? Last week's show, it wasn't just Susan B. who went out of her way to like thank us for the laughter for last week, but a lot of people were big fans of last week's show. And you know, one of them that provided us with some feedback is a good friend of the show, Kevin Van Dungeon.
Gabby.
He said, this is what he says. He goes, holy fuck balls. The Nocturnal Emissions absolutely crushed it. Awesome. Way to go, fellas. That was for the Ramble On thing last week.
Thanks, Kevin.
Yeah, it was a fun one.
Yeah. And then we also ended the show with the hot tub video, which was something that we made years and years ago. See, what was it?
It was 2016.
2016?
Yeah,
And what
March.
are we at now? It was like 3 years. It was 3 years ago. Anyways, so kind of forgot about it, right? This is pre-Wes. This is pre-Wes.
Yep.
It's a long time ago, man. And because he would have schooled us in that mustache contest, Charters.
Yeah. And
You would have wore his mustache.
the bottle of musk would have been too strong.
Oh, he wouldn't have been allowed in the hot tub.
Can't market that.
No, we'd have to find another bullish guy or make Steve go in the tub. Ugh. German would ruin the batch. What I like about you, Steve, is that you're reluctantly German, and therefore you know that you would ruin the batch. You don't argue it. You're like, yes, I am a shameful German. I know what we've done in the wars. And I know what we've done. Even prior to that, we killed our Christ. Remember when I proved that one episode?
Right.
Germans killed Jesus.
Then they went 0 for 2 at home.
Uncle Marius.
Over 2.
Quote. And you're just sitting there playing your fucking guitar, right? I forgot to tell everybody earlier today, Brandon McIntosh, who doesn't have to drive home tonight,
He lives here.
started. He brought out a bottle of whiskey that he had brought, and it was like a bottle of whiskey based on your joke. They made it just for your joke, right?
Bareface. Well, it's a coincidence, but yeah.
Come
I
on.
got excited when I buy whiskey, but I had to buy that.
Yeah,
Now
and
I'm drinking it. It's
I saw Brandon drinking the whiskey. He looked like he was having such a pleasant time that I decided to forgo vodka soda and go into whiskey water, which is just my favorite.
Do we have a bartender tonight?
No, Jane said she's going to be doing it.
Oh, thanks, Jane.
Oh, you guys want some booze?
Yeah.
Yeah, Jane will do it. Look at her. She's prancing away.
Wow.
She's floating like a fairy.
It's crazy.
Is that offensive?
No, like a
Not in
fairy.
this context.
Why?
I don't know. Isn't it obvious?
Why?
I can't put it into words.
Context?
Are you saying Jane, she's skipping away from you? You say she looks like a fairy. You're
She's
saying she looks like a
floating.
male homosexual. That is offensive to the male homosexuals, that she's floating away like that,
Not all of them.
skipping.
Not
And
all
you're
of them.
saying, oh, she looks like a homosexual male. I'm like, I don't think that's right, Dave. I think that's offensive. Maybe you as a master industry sitting down with some of the greatest leaders in the world would know better than to just like say
Thanks,
something
Jane.
like that. I don't know. What do you think?
Jane knew what I meant.
Means what?
That's all that matters.
Anyways, the point of my story was that I saw Brandon have a good time with drinking booze, and I said, I'm in, and I got a ride home for myself tonight. So I have been indulging more than normal, so I'm a little wasted. So if some of the things I say don't make sense, that's why. The amount of alcohol I've consumed.
It happens.
It's not
Yeah,
I feel
it
like it was an
happens.
You're eating
unspoken
muffins.
agreement. We just started drinking booze quietly in the basement together here.
Yeah, there was no words spoken at all. It was just two people quietly pouring whiskeys, a little bit of a nod, ever so
That's a
slight.
gentleman thing to do.
Yeah, yeah. And just go
A
at
whiskey and a nod. Just,
a whiskey and a
all we
nod.
need is a cigar.
Yeah. Oh God damn it! I'd kill for a cigar right now. Eh?
Whiskey and a knob, did you say?
No,
Oh.
I didn't. No. You know what, people? I want to read some of the feedback from the hot tub video. It's actually it was a big hit, Dave. You know, people liked it. Craig Franklin thought Paul Van Dyke was the star of the show with his rub on Musk. It'll put the mayonnaise on your fries. That was what he liked the most. But the other people, they like different parts, you know? It was really entertaining to see. Some people just wanted to tell us that, oh shit. Let me do this. Technology, I gotta pay attention. There we go. So anyways, there we go. These are the people that commented on the hot tub post. Jen Husko, who's a great friend of ours, she also sent us an email. We're going to get to her email later because I think she's got a good chance at LOW, right? But Jen Husko says, I'm crying, happy face, showing she's crying with an emoji. So that means you know it's real.
Oh, the one with the tear coming out?
Yeah, 2 tears, both
yeah.
eyes.
2 tears.
Thank you for sharing this, she said. Chris Pick says, you know Chris Pick, former guest of the show, a really superstar guest. He says, with those mustaches, that hot tub is man soup. Derek Yarmy, our sponsor of our show, who's never paid us, says, I'm dying. Thanks for the laugh. Ben and Petra Laurier, my aunt and uncle, they said,
Hey, Benny.
that's funny. Hope you guys have bathing suits on. And I'm like, it's not your goddamn business what we're doing.
What
in
we
that
do
tub.
in the privacy of our own hot tub is our business.
You hope we have a bathing suit on? Well, I hope you mind your own fucking business. Right? How about that? Joe Rylette, who actually filmed that footage, says, yes, so glad to see this because it finally came to fruition. There's some more clips that we haven't shown. Steph DeWally, longtime listener and fan of the show, says effing hilarious. And Menno Vaness, laugh my ass off, you know. And all those people who took the time to give us that feedback. I gotta tell you, I'm gonna scam to try to get a lot of these guys in a hot tub again, with weird facial hair, partially naked, to make up stuff. Just if that's what you like, I'll do more of it. That's my commitment to you. Anyways, that's really pretty much. I want to say. I have to check out one piece of Jen Husko here. She gave us an actual message, and I always like when people send us a message at livefromthedutchhall@gmail.com.
Hey, Jen.
So Jen says, "Great show. I love the show. Ramble on." And this is like lots of emojis, but I'll just like skip them. But there's lots like happy faces with hearts and like other shit I don't get.
She was into it.
Whatever. It's like emoji, right? I love this show. Ramble On was awesome. I had never heard the Fuckhole song before. What a treat. A wink. The commercial is priceless. I watched it twice. I'm crying. Thank you for sharing this gem. You know what, Jen? That makes it all worthwhile. If we can only strip my friend down again and put him in the hot tub and humiliate him, I would do it for you, Jen, every week. Charters, what do you think?
Jen?
You're the listener of the week. This is your week. And I'm going to tell you right now, Jen, you know what you get? Normally, people just get the honor and pride of being listener of the week. Mm-hmm. This time, I'm telling you, when you come to the next Spiky Ball Studios comedy show, Jen, there's a lighter waiting for you.
Oh, man.
A lighter, and you know what? God damn it, I'm feeling generous. We're putting a magnet with it. A magnet and a lighter. You can do experiments with that shit. Mm-hmm. Both Spiky Ball, Jen, come to the next thing. Listener of the week. You are listening right now. You'll know to demand it when you come in the Spiky Ball Studios next time.
Yep.
Awesome.
All right, that's it. If you'd like to give us feedback in the future, please go to livefromthedutchhall@gmail.com, or you can go to Facebook, Twitter, any of that shit, you know? And we'll be on there. Now comes time. Dave, any backlash? I know that the hot tub video, you're a master of industry. You're like, this is the way I picture your life, Dave. I picture you sitting around a big boardroom table, you know, and there's like people from like Korea and like there's people from like Japan and the United States and like Germany, you know, all the major like industrial
Different
nations,
industrial
you know,
nations, yeah.
and then there's you representing Canada. You know, that in my mind, you're like our industry guy that like goes up there and tells what the one of those lights is fucky. It keeps going on and off.
That's good. Go on.
Yeah. Anyways, you're representing Canada to give our take on industry, right? That's what you do for a living. Is that pretty close?
That's how it is in your mind?
Yeah, that's how it is in my mind. You're like that big of a deal.
I learned in a
like-
philosophy class in university one time that if it exists in your mind, then it exists in reality.
Right. So then that's true. Then you are that.
It's true to you. That's all that matters.
It's a big deal. Like I see people that treat you like a big deal. I've seen it with my own two eyes. Like people that will see you and then treat you like you're not what I see at all, which is like not that good, right? But like they treat you like you're something important, like you've accomplished something in your life, you know, which I think is really impressive. But I don't understand it at all, right? Because you're so unimpressive to me, you know. But
Kev's laughs are the best.
I'm sorry, Dave. I couldn't even get through that whole insult before. I'm sorry.
That's a lot
Anyway.
what it's like, yeah.
Is a lot what it's like. You and the other masters of industry sitting around. Anyways, did you get any grief? I heard you had to make huge changes in your life in order to escape the possible backlash.
I took a couple weeks off just to, let the dust settle.
It's like when Kim Kardashian put out that sex video with like Ray J, you know? And they're like, Kim, man, you better like lay low for a couple weeks till people forget about this. And then she's like, no, man, I'm riding this thing out. I'm letting everyone know I sucked that guy's dick or whatever, you know?
Yeah.
And then you're like opposite of Kim Kardashian. You don't
Yeah.
want to ride this thing to the top. You're going to like
I'm
take
hoping
the
for some,
steam
like-
out of it.
I'm hoping for some natural disaster or like that. I went down to Brazil and lit some fires in the rainforest, just fingers crossed.
Oh, yeah. Do you remember when Lawrence Fishburne's
I'm kidding.
daughter did porn? Do you remember?
Nope.
Well, she did. Lawrence Fishburne, you know him from
The Matrix?
The Matrix, yeah.
Take the
His
blue
daughter
pill?
did porn, and it was like a big story. And then something bigger happened, and then no one cared about Lawrence Fishburne's daughter doing porn, and it really ended her porn career. It was sad for her, but like it was good for Lawrence Fishburne because people stopped talking about his daughter doing porn.
And then
So-
shortly after that, someone confused, what's the actor's name? Samuel L. Jackson. Someone confused him with Lawrence Fishburne because Lawrence Fishburne was so popular after that.
After what?
After
being
the news
mistaken?
about his daughter, everyone thought that every black actor was Lawrence Fishburne after that.
Oh, and they thought Samuel Jackson had a daughter that was important too.
They just thought
And
he was
like
Lawrence
Wesley
Fishburne.
Snipes had a daughter that was in porn too, and like Eddie Murphy had a daughter in porn. They thought they were all the same guy.
There's a video where Samuel L. Jackson gets mad at the interviewer because they call him Lawrence Fishburne.
Oh yeah,
I don't know if it was the same time, but
it doesn't matter because it's funny. If you fuck up and you call a black guy the wrong name and another black guy,
what an idiot.
you look like shit, dude. You're not gonna get over that one anytime soon. You better make sure you get that fucking guy's name right, or call him a white guy's name, because then you're safe, right? If you don't know his name, just call him Paul McCartney.
Yeah.
He's fine. You're fine. Right? You're like, you're not Paul McCartney? Oh, at least I'm not racist. I don't see color. Right? You try to guess at which black guy he is, you're fucked. Are you Tay Diggs? Like, damn it. I don't even know who Tay Diggs is. I wouldn't be able to pick him out of a lineup. Who's another famous black guy that people would know that I wouldn't? Oh, like every guy that's got a Lil in the front of his name. I don't know who the fuck that is.
The Wayans family?
I know all the Wayans is they're comedians, but the Lil Peep or whatever, I don't know what the fuck that is. I don't follow those circles. You
Or
know?
anyone with a one-word name?
Madonna, I know who she is.
Or like
Cher, Drake, I know who he is. He's the Raptors cheerleader. Right? I know some stuff. I just don't choose to handle most pop culture bullshit because it's stupid. Right? Anyways, I want to end this show with a game that I put together for you fellas.
Okay.
And it's called How Well Do You Know the Nocturnal Emissions? All right, we're going to start. I have a book somewhere in one of these pockets. Oh, there it is. So we're going to start with Whiskey Wes Hagens.
We just lost 1/5, 1/6 of the nocturnal emissions.
No, he'll be back. I got a question
Okay.
for Kevin, too. But we're going to start with Whiskey Wes Hagens. So, Wes, I'm going to ask you a question. The rest of the members of the Nocturnal Emission on stage are going to try to figure out how you would answer this question.
Okay.
while they're like speculating on what's going on in your mind, you calmly sit there and say nothing, and like just realize how stupid they are, and then wait for them to run out of steam, and then tell them your real answer, right? Because they have no business getting into your head and trying to think what Whiskey West Hagen thinks, right? Anyways, here's the question. You're on a lifeboat, right? One person has to be thrown off the lifeboat, and it ain't going to be you, Wes, because you're too precious. It's one of these 4 bass players that are on this lifeboat with you. You're going to have to throw overboard, or you're going to sink to the bottom of the ocean and all perish. But one of these guys you got to kill. It's either John Paul Jones from Led Zeppelin, Flea from the Red Hot Chili Peppers, Paul McCartney from Wings, and Les Claypool from Primus.
It's easy.
It's easy, Dave? What do you think who's going to Wes throw over?
Paul McCartney from Wings.
How about if I said Paul McCartney from the Beatles? Same answer?
I would say Paul McCartney from the Beatles.
Is who Wes is going to throw over?
That's my guess.
Steve, what do you think?
It's a solid guess.
You think he's going to throw over Paul McCartney?
He's not going to do anyone else.
Brandon, do you know? You're just going to go strictly on what you think of Wes.
I'm not dissing Paul McCartney on his bass skills, but the others are way better.
Wes, who are you going to kill?
Paul McCartney in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
Oh, you guys do know each other. All right, let's go try to raise this up a notch. I'd like to turn it up to Steven, the Reluctant German.
Okay.
Steve, the Reluctant German, this is your question.
Okay.
You have to choose either Fish, the band, or the Grateful Dead. One of those 2 bands will live forever. The other band will have all of its catalog destroyed, so it's removed from history, that it's not part of any memory whatsoever. Oh. Okay.
I told you to pay your internet bill.
God damn it, Peter.
For fuck's sakes. One more Amazon check, we would have had it. Fuck. You guys want to play something? Give us a sweet lick on the keys over there.
Yeah, play some piano, man.
I don't think it's hooked up. No, I don't know how to play the piano.
See.
Now we just need a host. Now we just need a host again.
Back? Are we back?
Apparently we are back.
All right, we're back. Sorry about the technical difficulties. We're going to get back to Steve the Reluctant German's question.
Yeah.
For how well do you know the Nocturnal Emissions? Steven,
Yeah, man.
Fish or the Grateful Dead, you have to wipe out one of their catalogs from history completely. The other one can live forever. I want to ask David, you know, you've been to a Fish concert with Steve we never talked about. He's opened your eyes to Fish. You've seen his love for it, right? You also have been with him You know, you know his love for the Grateful Dead.
Yep.
Which one would he choose?
And I was exposed to the Grateful Dead as in my younger days, I guess. Never really listened to Fish at all till I met Steve. Went to a concert with Steve to Fish. Talked to Steve about Fish since then. Hands down, 100%, Steve will go for Fish.
He's going to kill
gets to-
Fish?
No, Fish gets to live on, and the Grateful Dead is wiped from the face of history.
Really, with no cover bands, no
Nothing.
They
They've
can't.
never existed.
Okay, he's going to take Fish over Grateful Dead?
Yeah.
Wes, what do you think?
I would have thought he would keep the Grateful Dead.
Okay, and Brandon?
Yeah, there's no Fish without the Grateful Dead.
Steve,
Yeah, man.
drum roll, what do you think?
I am going to say goodbye to Fish.
Are you killing Fish, keeping the Grateful Dead? The grandfather of it. Charters, you are the idiot in this whole thing.
You're dead to me, Steve.
Now we got Kevin, the French
Really?
tickler. He's back again.
Yeah.
We're going to go back to a lifeboat. Kevin,
Yes, sir.
you have a lifeboat. You are too precious. Again, same as with Wes. You cannot throw yourself overboard, but you have 4 drummers here. And now that I'm looking at this, I feel like I have to get another 4th pick here. But I'm still going to do it. Ginger Baker, Taylor Hawkins, Neil Peart from Rush. I was going to say Ginger Baker's from Cream, right? Taylor Hawkins from Foo Fighters.
And Alanis Morissette.
And Alanis Morissette, yeah.
Tour 94.
Jagged Little Pill. Dave sang every word of that tape in my ear on a road trip one time, and I punched him in his throat.
Great album.
Neil Peart from Rush or Ringo Starr. So you're like Ginger Baker, Taylor Hawkins, Neil Peart, Ringo Starr. You got to throw one of them overboard.
Perk.
Neil Peart.
He's gone. Yeah.
Oh shit! No one got to guess on that
Wow,
one.
I would not have guessed
but
that,
no
though.
one would have guessed Neil Peart. That
I
he
would
would
have
have
went
guessed
Ginger
it.
Baker. No, I would have went Ringo Starr, actually.
So would I.
But I thought you were going to put John Bonham in there. But you did not.
I didn't. I would have guessed that Kevin would have went with Ginger Baker as well, because he's a miserable dick, but he's actually so inventive. And if you really look at the drummers as a whole, I'd say Ringo Starr is easily the one you'd throw overboard to chum for Sharks because he's so not talented, right? Like Ringo Starr is like when I listen to the Beatles channels on Sirius XM and they all of a sudden throw a Ringo song in, you're like, oh God, it's like going to a wedding, you know? It's really bad. It's like, how did this guy play in the Beatles? Like he's not close to being talented.
Kevin, what do you got against Neil Peart?
Too much?
Too hyped. Just too overhyped.
Wow.
All of the drummers listed there are drummers that are subpar to the drummers that I idolize and look up.
Who would you say is the greatest?
Ginger, in that listing that you gave me, I would probably have to list Ringo as being the greatest drummer. In that group because of how he plays to the song.
Oh yeah,
None
yeah.
of the other drummers in that group will play to a song the way that Ringo would. So that's
Right.
where Ringo excels as a drummer.
He knows his role and plays to the song.
Yeah, but as far as technical ability and where their roots kind of come from, I'd go with Ginger Baker because he comes from African drumming, Latin, jazz.
He's very
real,
inventive.
idol of jazz greats and stuff. So.
Yeah.
Wow.
Ringo, though, to be fair, one of my favorite quotes of all time was when they asked John Lennon, do you think Ringo Starr is the greatest drummer in the world? And he said, I don't even think he's the greatest drummer in the Beatles. And then that, to me, is
Paul
like
McCartney's a great drummer.
Yeah, Paul McCartney is said to have redone all the White Album stuff. They made Ringo go home and he redid it all. And
Dave Grohl did the same thing, right? With, I don't know what album it was, but a Foo Fighters album.
First one.
I'm going to say something that you may or may not find controversial, Dave, but I'm going to suggest that Jack White redid all of Meg White's drums for the entire White Stripes
Not
catalog.
all of them. No.
For the whole catalog, I'm saying.
Maybe the early releases were done in
Live,
studio
it's like
live
together, yeah.
So
But when they started doing...
probably since then.
Yeah. That's what I think.
Yeah.
And then live, she got to play, but there's no way he would let her.
He was
play.
still playing the drums just while he played guitar. Like
Yeah.
looking at her and nodding at her.
keep
Now
time
is
to
when
my
you hit
head.
the
Yeah.
snare.
She just had strings attached to
Now.
her like a puppet. Just like
I don't mean to disparage the
was
poor
good.
woman, but like he chose her because she would make it harder for him to be good, right?
Yeah, he liked that kind of thing, right?
Yeah, yeah. So like it was just because she was such a unique, like a weird drum player, and she wasn't really. She's just keeping time, right? Ringo too just kept time, didn't he? Anyways, Kevin,
You know what I like about this game? We're getting to know each other like better.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? Let's talk about the newest member of the Nocturnal Emissions, Brandon McIntosh. Done such a great job filling in for Whiskey Wes Higgins over the last couple weeks.
Yep.
I'm just back up everything, back up bongos, back up.
It's a conga.
Now, I don't know if you know about Brandon McIntosh. Brandon McIntosh, he happens to be quite a reader. He reads a lot into things that maybe other people don't read into, and he kind of is open-minded as to what's going on in the world.
Too much so.
Too much so, some might say. So that being said, which does Brandon believe there is the most probability of being real? Bigfoot, aliens, ghosts, or lizard people? Steve?
I say he believes in aliens 100%.
Aliens above all the rest of those.
Yes.
Okay.
I think it's ghosts.
Kevin.
Aliens.
Aliens.
And let's see what Brandon has to say.
You're all wrong. It's Sasquatch, Bigfoot.
Bigfoot.
For the layman, for the layperson.
You know what? I'm going to tell you guys, all that you guys just blew that question right out of the water.
I knew it wasn't
Maybe
aliens.
after the show one time, you sit down and talk to Brandon, get to know him. Huh? You ever think about that? Ever treat him like a human?
have a
Maybe
chat tonight.
find out
I
what
like
makes
aliens, but you know, they could be any. They could be interdimensional. They could be time travelers. They could. You don't know.
You do not know.
Sasquatch is this big monkey in the woods. It's easy to. It's just
The honest thing about Sasquatch-
straightforward.
Yeah.
How could he not exist?
Yeah.
Well, do you know when
Or she.
well, they'd have to have both because they fucking make more of them, right? So they'd have he's and she's.
Oh, yeah.
That one.
Yeah.
Hey, you know, they had like a Native American tribe that was like 8 foot tall, like people. They have skeletons of them in the what's that? Smithsonian in the Washington in the basement. They don't display them, but they have them in the basement in storage. 8 foot skeletons with 2 rows of teeth. You know, that's what they were. And guess what? They all got killed by the new people coming over from Europe or whatever. So let's say a couple of these giants went up to the mountains and said, let's stay away from these fucking people, right? Every time the people get close, they go deeper in the bush. Is it not probable that Brandon McIntosh here is the smartest one of all of
They
us?
just
I would
get
say so.
hairier and hairier.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say I'm the smartest, but
It's possible.
Well, also they probably fuck bears up there because they got lonely.
Whatever they can.
That gets them hairier, right?
yeah.
I saw Nell. Shit's real.
Did Jodie Foster fuck a bear in that movie?
It was in the outtakes.
She just did it. That was the method acting part of it, eh? She's like, I think this character would understand better if the actor playing it fucked a bear. Right?
Oh, man.
Anyways, let's finish this show up with one last question for Dave the Rooster Charters. Everyone's going to have to answer this. Dave, please hold your answer to the very end. Dave, you're a Jack White fan, is that true?
Yep.
Would you say you're a pretty big Jack White fan?
Yeah.
Okay, let's
Probably
say
my favorite artist.
favorite artist?
Yep.
If Jack White got bit on the head of his penis by a poisonous snake, would you suck the poison out? What do you think, Brandon? Would Dave suck the poison out of Jack White's penis?
Absolutely. Be a man. Just suck it out. Just suck it.
Wes, what do you think Dave's going to do?
I would hope not, but
Think of the albums you're gonna miss.
Yeah, you're going to miss a whole bunch of albums if you don't suck that poison out. You're going to have no more Jack White music. You got to like deal with what you got.
You'll get a guest spot on his album for sure.
He'll at least give you some liner notes.
suck that dick.
Shout out. He'll give you thanks for Charles for sucking the poison out on the liner notes. Wouldn't that be worth it?
It's a picture of the saliva in the dirt after I spit it out.
No, you gotta swallow it. That's the deal. I think that's understood. You gotta swallow the poison, don't you? To get rid. No, you spit that poison out, Dave. Sorry, I forgot. I thought I was talking jizz, but you would spit the poison out. Okay, so Kevin, what do you think Dave would do?
I think like he's doing right now, he'd think about it for a good little bit. I think you'd do it.
Yeah, you do it, Steve.
Yeah, heroes suck dick, eh, Dave?
So only Wes has faith that you will not suck Jack White's dick in order to save his life. What would you do, Dave?
It turns out Wes is the smartest one out of all of you.
You'd let him die? He's sitting there with a snake bite on his dick. You're gonna let him die?
No, I would. I like numbers and mathematics, and I think the odds of him dying from a snake bite are probably not that good. There's not that many snakes, even in North America, that would kill you with a snake bite, even like a rattlesnake. Or,
Yeah, a rattlesnake will fucking kill you, dude.
No,
That's a tender spot on
no.
the dick.
You go
Right
and
in
you
your
get
dick?
treatment, and you're sick for a while. Maybe your dick falls off, but you'll be all right.
That would,
You thought it won't
that would
affect his-
stifle his
I would
his
rush
music
him.
career.
I would rush him to the nearest medical facility. That's what I would do.
And ask somebody else to suck the poison out
Whatever they do at
and
the
just
medical
whack
facility.
off watching it, eh? You dirty dog. I don't. Well, everybody, that's a good way to end this program. That's a real shocker for me, actually, to end this program like that, because I would thought Dave would have fucking ran to his cock, you know? I would never have thought that you would have done that, Dave. So hats off.
Hey, we're all learning things tonight.
Yeah, we did get to know each other a lot better. Guys, if you enjoyed this program, I don't understand, but please tell a friend, and you can always give us feedback at livefromthedutchhall@gmail.com. You can also go to Dutch Hall on Instagram and Twitter, or Live from the Dutch Hall on Facebook. We're everywhere on that core and all the bullshit LinkedIn. Other than that, we will see you, NT. See you next Thursday. Hit it, fellas.